Hey guys, Roy Lippman here with Flagstaff Fire Department with a little training video. Today we're going to talk about how to incorporate a seat harness into your bunker gear to where this is the finished product, to where you have a carabiner waiting for you hooked to a proper harness for whatever you need, whether it be bailing out a window with your SCBA drop bag or belaying a partner off a roof to pick off the victim out of a window. Whatever it is, you have a harness already built and ready to go into your bunker gear. So we're going to go over the steps on one method on how to do this. Okay, so the way this starts is with your standard loop of webbing that I think most of us have. The only problem with this is now you're going to be committing this loop of webbing to a harness. I'm going to work on getting everybody on the department more webbing and carabiners for this, but for now I just wanted to get this out. So this is the loop that's the right size for me. It's 13 feet total, tied with a water bend into a loop. Your standard seat harness, but you're tying it around your thermal barrier inside your turnout. So the best way is to just drop your shell a little bit. And standard seat harness, so this is good training on how to remember how to do this, but you come through the sides and then you pull these loops. And the difference here is that we normally put the knot on the small of our back, but I found that wearing an SCBA with that knot right there is really uncomfortable. So the trick here is to get it set to where it's just below the top of your thermal barrier. Kind of work your shell up while holding these two loops. And then remember, this harness just falls apart if these loops aren't clipped. So what we do here is we actually clip the front snap of our thermal barrier to the shell through those loops. So that now the harness can't fall apart. The other thing I'm going to do is in the back, I'm going to run just that back part over the middle snap so that it can't fall down. Finish the rest of the snaps all the way around. And you're basically, when you put your turnouts on now, I just store the carabiner on one side. All it is one more step. All you got to do is clip the carabiner to that other loop and you've got your harness ready to go. Okay, so the next progression of this training is talking about how to use your SCBA drop bag for self-rescue or bailout out of a window in an emergency situation. So we have Sean here who's going to demonstrate. We've talked a lot about in previous trainings what you can use inside buildings as anchors. You can kick the wall out around studs. You can wrap your rope and clip it back to itself around a big object like a table or a couch. Whatever you end up using, that's another training. For the purpose of this training, we're going to go ahead and just clip to the rated anchor on the wall at Station 5. So this is the carabiner on the end of your SCBA drop bag. It comes out with your rope, the self-locker. Sean is then going to tie a Munter hitch. And you can see he's practicing like we play, on air, gloves on, just like we would be in that environment. You can see the advantages of having this carabiner already set to go on your harness. Given the emergency scenario, it's one less step that you'd have to deal with, building a seat harness, dealing with carabiners, and all that. So his Munter is set. Gives it a little test under tension. You can ignore the red rope in this video. That's just a safety belay for the purpose of the training. Now obviously the crux of this move is getting out over the windowsill. You need enough slack in your line to get over the window, but you also need to have a hand on that brake line for once you do make your move. And the best way to do it is to really just trust your own body, your own muscles, your own arms to lower yourself down and then be ready to take over on that Munter once you actually start belaying or rappelling. There you go, he's making his move, he's on belay, and he's rappelling under his own control with that Munter. Got a little hung up here on the windowsill, but a little force will pull that out. There you go. And that's it. So the rope is just feeding out of his bag. Remember, you only have 60 feet of rope, so this will get you, at least one floor down, maybe a couple, but remember, do not rappel off the end of your rope. If you rappel off the top of Seeker's Hall, for example, you could rappel off the end of your rope. So good job, Sean. All right, I hope everybody enjoyed this video and found it useful. It kind of incorporates a few different elements of skills that might need to be revisited as far as training. Tying water nuts, tying the seat harness, making sure that both of those loops are incorporated, otherwise the whole thing unzips. Also, another side note to mention is this sort of brings to light how important it is to do daily checks on your whole air pack, including your drop bag. That is part of your safety equipment, and just important to check that every day. Thanks everyone, be safe.